Graybeard Gaming.
Welcome to the Graybeard Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Scott, and there is no spoon. As always, I have with me David and Liam. Well, David will be here in a minute, hopefully. And this week we're going to talk about Sony restructuring again, EA layoffs, and Avowed gets an FPS boost. We kind of forgot about that. But first, I'm going to act like we don't do this every week and mildly ask what we've been playing. So, Liam, I guess we'll start with you, and hopefully David will pop in any minute because for some reason he likes to do this on a Mac.
I haven't been playing much. I had to be with family again. But I did play some Call of Duty. I played some Black Ops 6 Zombies.
Of course,
the new map is a bit hard.
There's a new map? Man, I am really not keeping up with zombies.
I know they are pumping out maps fast.
Wow.
It is crazy. So that's like the one area that Black Ops 6 is like excelling in right now.
Yeah.
So that was good, but it's hard though. You got you're in this underground it says a tomb, so underground tomb. It's very claustrophobic, very limited space, which is kind of cool for like a zombies map because that's what people like.
So are we talking like ancient Egyptian tombs, or are we talking about like medieval tombs, or be specific?
I think more medieval.
Okay.
Tombs, yeah, they're medieval tombs, and you have to. I don't know why. I don't know what you're doing in this map, to be quite honest, because you have to get the stuff. You have to get the staff of ice that appears. So origins, and then the boss is a weird survival fight with a cursed talisman. So yeah, that was kind of weird. But the map seems to be just hard. You know, it just seems to be a very difficult map to do stuff in. Like all the Easter egg steps are quite, I mean, not extremely hard, but they're quite difficult because it's basically survival, wave in these Easter egg steps. You played Black Ops 6 Zombies before, didn't you?
Oh yeah, we played the first two maps. Yeah.
Yeah, like the ones on Terminus, you have the amalgams, and now you have a mimic as well. So
what?
Yeah, mimics are back.
Oh my god, those are the worst.
Yeah.
Thanks, D&D.
So, yeah, and I don't know what it is. I think they must have like upped the difficulty of the game in that particular map because they just feel bullet sponges. And the amount of ammo you have to waste just to kill stuff in this one, I don't know what it is. I'm always running out of ammo, and then so
somebody on X went and said this is too easy.
Yeah, and this is what we get.
Yeah, this is the end result.
Yeah, thanks community.
Yeah, really.
And yeah, I think that and some Diablo farming basically.
Diablo's in a new the season of the Witch, right?
Yeah. That's basically really it. I want to get into Sniper Elite because that just came out.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll play some multiplayer and some campaign.
Cool.
What else? I think that's it really.
Yeah, I played some Sniper Elite, the new one, Resistance. It is it's good. I don't think it looks as good as 5 did. And I know that the team that's working on that did 5 is now working on Atomfall.
Yeah. So this is kind of like
this is the B team, yeah.
Yeah, a B team, a B expansion game sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of what this feels. This feels like DLC. Not that there's really anything wrong with that. I mean, it is a full-fledged game, but it does feel a little bit of jank on it. But I'm still enjoying it. The AI doesn't seem to be as smart as in 5, but that may just be my memory. But this game is a lot of fun. You can play it any way you want to, and it's the kind of games that I like. It's like, here's an open map. You have objectives here, here, and here. You can do them any way you want to. You could sneak in. You can kill everybody. You can, whatever you want to do. But you also have the option, and excuse my voice, I've been sick. Someone can come into your game, your single player campaign, as a German sniper, and hunt you down.
Yeah,
and this
I think I was in
so much.
I think
fun.
I was in 5.
It was in 5. Yeah, you can do that in 5 as well. Now it tells you when somebody comes in, and you have these phones that are around the map. If you find one of the phones, you can call, and it kind of tells either them your location or you their location, kind of around not like an exact spot, but it's fun, man. It is a lot of fun. I think I have more fun with that than the actual mission, because I'm playing the mission, I'm getting everything down. It's like, oh, an Axis sniper has just joined. I'm like, yeah. And then I just wait. And I caught one guy like with his binoculars. I'm like, there's a guy on that roof. And I took my rifle and looked down the scope, and he was looking like around the map with his binoculars. And I waited till he saw me. And I saw him like put his binoculars down real quick and like reach for his rifle, and as soon as he did that, pow, and you got the bullet cannon that just went all the way across the map, and just like, yeah, boy. So it is a lot of fun. It's also if you think, most of the time you're like, oh, this guy's nowhere near me, and you line up a shot to take out like a guy in a tower or something. And when you think you are shooting, you actually get shot by this guy that's invaded you. Some expert marksman from a Marine or something. It's just like this bullet comes out of nowhere, and that's equally as thrilling. I think that's just as much fun as taking them out. So that's a really cool aspect to this game. It makes it a lot more fun. You can turn this on and off. And me and a friend played some co-op. And co-op is, I'll always love co-op, and the addition to co-op. And it's really cool too, because you can have one person sniping, one person doing the objective, and then somebody covering you and all that kind of stuff. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. Also, I think that's pretty much it. I haven't had a lot of time to play this week. But I downloaded some older games, like Mass Effect. I started another game of Mass Effect 1, and we were talking about this just before the show, how amazing that game pulls you in and just locks you into what's going on so quickly. Like you were sucked into, like it's the future. You can go to any planet. You're human, and the humans are not, the highest life form. So we're trying to kind of make our way in the universe and try to get on this council and stuff like that. And then you're given a mission, and it seemingly you're like, okay, this is the game. I've got to work my way up to get this position into the Spectres. But no, your first mission goes completely wrong. There's alien tech. There's a guy that's actually in the council that you're trying to be a part of. He kills another member, and it's like just a space opera. And from that point on, man, you are completely hooked. And I think any developer now should look at games like that. Look at that game and just look at that hook. It just grabs you right from the start. Dragon Age Origins does the exact same thing. They did such a good job of just like, hey, this is the game. This is what you're doing. This is the good guys. This is the bad guys. And something happened. And that's it. It's very simple. It's very basic. You don't need all of this all this lore to precede it. You don't have to have any of that stuff. You don't have to have a lot of dialogue. You don't have to have, it's just, they just didn't, they were respectful to, anyone that played it, they figured that, it's like if somebody's going to play this, they obviously know how an RPG works. But, so I've been playing a little bit of that. And I also got today Dying Light 2. Have you ever played that?
I haven't. I got the first one.
Yeah, I think everybody played the first one.
I always get confused when too many zombie games. Like Dead Island, Dying Light, this one, that one. Yeah, but I got the first Dying Light, and I don't think I actually got the second.
So. Yeah, the second one is a little bit different. And I talked about it on a previous show where the ending of it glitched, or the last boss battle, and I was not able to complete the game, and it really pissed me off. But it's on sale right now for Steam for like $19. And I've been wanting to play something kind of zombie-ish, but that doesn't involve, Easter eggs. So I got that, and I've been playing that, and that game is a lot of fun as well. Just, down and dirty zombie slicing and dicing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I had an okay week. And this weekend I've been sick all weekend. I didn't play anything Saturday. I just laid in bed and thought I was going to die. And then yesterday I was able to get up and play some Sniper Elite a little bit. And Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 comes out tomorrow. And reviews are very, very good. Not that we really go by reviews here, but the first one I liked. I didn't finish it in time. But I'm not going to get this anyway because I have Valentine's Day coming up. And that gets rather expensive. So, but yeah, I will probably be playing this in the near future. It looks really good. And if you don't know what that is, it's a medieval role-playing game where you do play a certain character, a preset character. There's no magic. There's no dragons. It's more of a historical role-playing game. And I think that's its draw. That's what people like about it, is that it's tied to a time and a place, and you can almost like tour it with a like a museum, So anyway, that's gonna be out tomorrow. So that's about it. Yeah. Otherwise, I've just been doing what you just did, even though.
Yep. No, I'm ill also, so yeah, we're doing great. We are.
Yeah, I know. It's episode 6.
Yeah.
Watch David come in later, and he's like, "I'm really sick." Anyway.
Everything's going around apparently. So.
Yeah, there's something going around. There's always something going around, but this thing is, it's like half the people I know are sick right now. That's kind of weird. Even like flu season. It's like even flu season here is like, somebody has the flu. I'm like, oh, I hope I don't get it. And that's about it.
Yeah.
And everywhere I go, it's like people are out of work. People are calling in sick. I don't know. It's bizarre. But anyway, back to gaming. At least it's not cold here. It's like 70 degrees today. It's really freaking weird.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I don't know if that's good or bad. Maybe that's what's making everybody sick.
We don't know what the weather is.
No. Well, let's move on to our stories. I think you said you wanted to ask me a question first before we get into it.
Yeah, I was wondering. Well, I see on like Twitter and online and the arguments as usual. What do you think about Xbox's strategy now, going forward?
Yeah, I think that if you were invested in Xbox, it's looking kind of weird. But and maybe a little scary. I don't know. But I mean, if you think about it, it's probably less scary than them going, "Hey, we just want everybody to know that we're, as of this date, we're shutting down Xbox and we're selling all our studios and calling it quits." That would be probably catastrophic to, of course, anybody that was invested in Xbox, and really just the gaming, just gaming in general. I know everybody has their favorite little plastic box, but if you think about it, if one of the top leaders just kind of folds, it's not going to play out good for a lot of people. But saying that, though, I personally think their strategy is good. I think it's probably the best strategy I've heard from them in a long time. I think the year after year of them saying we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and it's just like, beating your head against a wall. They don't have to beat Sony. They don't have to beat Nintendo in console sales, and they know that, and they've always known that. But they don't also have to lose money on every console they sell, and they also don't have to, not put out any games, on other platforms. Yeah. So I think that if you're on Xbox and you're, that's your sole gaming source, I think if you look at it as a point of, this is how this is going to make this brand better and give it longevity, then that's just going to benefit you in the long run. So yeah, I think they're going in the same. I think if Sony did this, they would probably be a lot better off. Their stock would probably look a little bit better, and their earnings call would probably look a little bit better, because right now neither one of them look very good at all. So what do you think about it? I mean, you still play on Xbox, right?
Yeah, I mean, Xbox will always be my main platform.
Yeah,
because that's just where my library is for like 95%. My friends, just everything. I've been on since 360, and I don't really care if games go over.
How does it affect you? It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't affect me at all, and I don't think they're in any trouble of closing Xbox or anything like that. People are going crazy, but no, they're not. I think it's come to a point with gaming now where developers are kind of annoyed with exclusives. At the end of the day, when a developer makes a game and a publisher makes a game, they want to sell as much as possible. That's the goal.
Right.
Obviously, they want money and everything. Bar Nintendo, because they're Nintendo, they do their own thing. Exclusives aren't viable. They're not.
No.
Not for PlayStation, not for Microsoft. They're not viable anymore. Because they always say, like, oh, yeah, well, Sony sold PlayStation 70 million units or 60 million. How many exclusive copies did they sell? If the end-all, be-all of consoles and the point was exclusives, why aren't any of the games sold 50 million copies if that's what they bought for? They're not.
Right.
Most people go for COD and FIFA and Madden and...
Yeah, you got 50 million PlayStations and you sell 10 million copies. What is that telling you?
Yeah.
What does it tell you when you sell, like 21 million copies, and then you have a sequel and then you sell 11 million copies?
Yeah. And Game of the Year last year was Astro Ball. How many copies did it sell? 10 million? 20 million? No, 2.
No. So it doesn't matter. Why does it matter if it's Game of the Year if it's not making you money?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably made money because it's a smaller title, but
sure,
it's not like it's not selling gangbusters. It's not, wow, this is the point of a PlayStation exclusives. No, that's not what's happening at all. And Sony are pointing to PC anyway. They know.
Yeah.
And I think Xbox could be doing something radical for the next generation. There's a lot of rumors about them and Steam. They could do something radical completely, or just be the Xbox Game Pass box, because we get Game Pass games every month anyway at this point. Sure. But even if you say, oh, the Xbox console won't sell as much and it'll be like less and less, even like Xbox Cloud Gaming, what do they run on? The servers. Xbox consoles. They're not going to ditch the console. That's the whole cloud system.
Yeah.
So they always need hardware regardless.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think Xbox is going anywhere. It's a weird time, yeah. But I'm tired of social media and people not enjoying stuff. It's like, just play on what you want. Play the game you want and what you want. That's literally it.
Well, I think that we could all take a lesson from social media that if it only the conversations are only in extremes.
Yeah,
Like the conversation is Xbox is dead, it's going nowhere, it's don't buy that garbage. To it's great, it's the best thing ever, I love it so much, and it's perfect in every way. It's like there's no middle ground there. There's no,
yeah,
you
yeah,
and then that just cites arguments, and it's reductive and stupid.
yeah.
And I think developers themselves should just stay off social media,
Hmm.
as a company. I mean, just run ads, but good God, just stop interacting with these people. Makes you look stupid. Um,
I mean, yeah, because you got like developers as well, like Square Enix. They got mad at Sony because of their exclusivity deal. Because Final
yeah,
Fantasy sold garbage.
yeah, because Sony probably guaranteed them like so many copies sold if they signed a deal, and they did, and then they were like, "What the hell, man?" You know, like all your customers are playing Call of Duty and Fortnite.
Yeah,
They're seeing it. Some of these people see it. Capcom's like, we're not doing that again. They went right over to Xbox and was like, hey, let's make a deal. You
yeah,
know, and they probably knew they were going to do that. They probably like, well, when this comes out and they don't sell anything, they're going to come over to here, and it makes sense. It makes sense for everybody. Exclusives are stupid. They're just dumb. And as far as the gaming market, look, when we had Nintendo and Sega, it made sense. The market was much smaller,
yeah,
and you had to sell that hardware. The idea was to sell the hardware, because if you sold the hardware, you made money on the hardware, you made money on the accessories, you made money on each game that was sold. And if you're a Nintendo, you made double that because their games were like 70, $80. But excuse me. Um, it made sense in that market. And
yeah.
they were
I mean,
also less expensive, even by inflation standards. To have a Nintendo and a Sega was not that big a deal, you know.
mm,
Even when you were a kid, it's. I grew up poor, and we still had a Nintendo,
hmm,
to play on. But it's now it's not like that. Games are going day and date on PC anyway. Um, everything that Microsoft makes is going to place. I mean, going to Game Pass day one and PC day one, and even Sony, their new CEO, I'm pretty sure he's going to start talking about, hey, we need to lower that gap between when we release on PlayStation and we release on PC. You
yeah.
know, a year or 2 years or 3 years is bullshit. That's stupid. Because look what happened to Spider-Man 2. What happened with Spider-Man 2?
They, yeah, Spider-Man 2
On
was
Steam. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was like announced and then nothing. Like no
Yeah. It
requirements,
sat on the
no,
store. There was no updates up to the day before it came out is when they had pre-orders and the PC specs. The day before it came out. Like, what are you even doing with that? Like, they
mhm.
don't even know what they're doing with PC. They don't even know how to do it. Even though they've done it before, they don't look like they just don't know what they're doing. And then they released a port it's not great. It's not working very
Yeah.
well at all. Um, if you develop these things hand in hand, they've got, is it
Nixus.
Nixus? Yeah. They bought them to do this. Why not
Yeah.
have them work with the studios as they're making the game so they can release these day and date? They're they're not. They're just now figuring out that PC players are not going to buy their shit. They're not going to buy their PlayStation. They're just not going to do it. I mean,
Hmm.
we'll wait for a brand new game to go on sale. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it's like we are not day one indoctrinators, except for the people that go out and buy a 5090 on the day it comes out for $2,000. What is wrong with you? Please stop doing that. This is why those are so expensive. Anyway, so they're kind of seem to be. It's like two steps forward and one step back, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, the whole point of exclusives was to sell hardware, and the hardware is just not. It's not making it anymore. I don't think
No,
Sony can really make that much money on. I mean, I know they make money with each PlayStation sold, but what is
can't be that
that?
much. Yeah.
Yeah, what is that compared to having a game that's going to sell 20, 30 million copies? It not on their hardware. Like if Spider-Man came out day one, just I know this sounds ridiculous, but it sold 11 million copies. Okay, not day one, but within like I think
Yeah.
the launch window. If it came out on PC and Xbox day one, what numbers do you think they would have done with that game?
That could have been like 20 million easy.
Easy, doubled it, easy. Probably more, probably
Yeah.
even more. Let's say 30 million. So you just sold 30 million copies of a game that you just sold 11 million on because you're keeping it locked on your one box.
Yeah.
Microsoft sees this. They see that is not working. Anybody can see it. Hell, I'm an idiot. I can see it. I mean, it's obvious. Why is it not obvious to them? It just baffles me. Microsoft seems to know what they're doing with Xbox now, and I think that they've had somebody, probably some people have come in to Xbox from Microsoft probably and went, hey, look, we need to change this, and we need to change it right now. And if this doesn't sell, or if this doesn't do well, then this is the course we're going to take after this, and boom, this is where they're going with it.
Probably.
And they're talking about the next Xbox, the next actual set-top box that you plug into your TV, the console, is going to be, it's probably going to be something that is more PC-like, but in my opinion, I don't think we're going to see Steam on Xbox. I don't know how that's going to work. How would that even work?
I wouldn't know how it works either.
I mean, if you think about it, if let's just take Call of Duty. Like, hey, I've got Call of Duty on PC, on Steam. Well, okay, the only way that would work is if I have an Xbox, then I own a license for that game on Xbox as well. So there's your cross-buy, and then your cross-save, because it ties to your Xbox account. So then there you have the same thing. But those are not the same games. You have a PC version and you have a console version. Everything on Steam is a PC version of a game. You can't just take it and put it on a console.
No,
it's not hard, but...
Yeah. But with the Steam Deck now,
Linux
games have to be verified for Steam Deck, don't they?
Yes and no. It can be verified by them, yes, but some of them, they'll let you play it if it's half-assed. I mean, they'll say it's like, this kind of works. Go out, have fun. They're not going to keep you from playing it.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. But again, that's based on PC hardware and a Linux-based operating system. Now, it's using Photon to kind of do the in-between Windows and Linux, and it does a really good job. But Microsoft doesn't have anything like that, or do they?
Maybe they do. Who knows? I mean, it's Microsoft, so if anyone can put money into something, it's them.
Well, why is the PC versions of some game on PC Game Pass different than the one on Steam, and why is that objectively worse? Yeah, nobody has an answer for that. Why is Remnant 2, when it came on Game Pass, didn't have DLSS? It just wasn't in the game. That's just weird. That's just odd. It's obviously a different version.
I mean, there would be different versions, definitely,
right,
between Windows Store and Steam.
I just don't know how technically that would even work, is to have Steam on. The only thing that would technically work is your licensing. If it was you buy it on Steam, you have it on Xbox, and vice versa. But why would you do that? Steam wouldn't do that. They would lose money on each sale. It doesn't make sense.
Maybe the next Xbox is a Steam box with Xbox OS on it.
No,
I don't know. I'm just throwing. I think the next consoles will have to do something different. Microsoft sees that they have to do something different with the console.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, we talk about console sales and this and that. Xbox, I think since maybe the One X, since the One X, I think they've had the best consoles. It's just the best console.
Yeah.
Hardware-wise, feature-wise, it just is, So they know their hardware, they know their features. So I would hate to see the Xbox console go away. But people like PlayStation because they like PlayStation. Everyone was moved from PS4 to PS5. But in terms of features, what Xbox does blows away PlayStation any day.
Yeah, I mean, as far as features, and I mean, PlayStation 5 wasn't ready to launch. You couldn't even put an external drive in it, man. I mean, I'm not dogging on Sony or saying that, the PlayStations are stupid, but I think it's obvious that it wasn't ready to launch. The OS was not stable. You couldn't put there's like, hey, look, here's a slot for a hard drive for future hard drives at some point. I think it was almost a year before you could put a hard drive in it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Although, that's the thing. It doesn't stop them selling consoles. You know what I think sometimes, which when going on Twitter probably solidifies my thoughts, is Sony is the Apple of gaming.
Yeah.
Well, or Apple of consoles, I should say. Microsoft is Android.
Yeah.
Because you have all like the Sony diehard fans saying this is the best thing ever, like nothing ever tops it. Sales, and then Microsoft's over here with just a better console, more features, open, and so much more stuff, and it just doesn't sell as much.
Yeah. Yeah, and everybody says it's because of games. I don't see how. I mean, it's Microsoft and Sony both have some really terrible games. But then they also have some great games. So you can't say it's totally about games. 2024 was 2022 for Sony.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like in 2022, it's like Xbox. They didn't have anything,
No.
And they were like, oh shit, everything got moved back and everything, and then COVID screwed up all this stuff. Last year Sony didn't have squat. They released Concord. They banked everything on Concord. And so
this year,
they have, I don't know what's coming out this year for Sony. On the 10th, they're having their big, like we said, February. They're going to have their state of play. We'll see.
Is that confirmed?
Yeah, I believe so. I could be wrong. Maybe, but
they probably will do. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be in February at some point.
You know what would be funny is if they just went, here's a state of play and just showed the Xbox showcase. We don't have anything.
There's
Look
the
at these
replay.
games.
Oh my god. Yeah, that would be that wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, but I know Indiana Jones is going to PlayStation sometime in the spring. And Forza is now going to PlayStation. Forza 5, Forza Horizons 5.
Yeah. I'm betting that Switch 2 will also get it when it comes out.
Maybe. Yeah. But we'll see. Xbox is not dead. Sony is not dead. Nobody's going anywhere. But, as if you're only on Xbox, you're going to be fine. And if you're only on Sony, you're going to be fine. They'll make games eventually, and if not, Microsoft will supply them. There's nothing wrong with playing games that came from another system. Jeez, we used to do it all the time. It's not that big a deal. Okay, so we do have a news article. That's a good question, though, by the way. We need to keep updated on that because things are shifting. Well, things don't really change. It's just people's perception of what's changing is like, like, oh my God, another game's going to PlayStation. Like, why are you surprised about this, people? Like, it's going to happen again.
Like Microsoft just said about it, and it's like, whoa, it's a surprise. No, it's not.
This is not a surprise. This is the next game they announce. We'll go to PlayStation. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hang on. Make me sound less like I'm sick. That didn't even work. Okay, well, speaking of Sony, they did do this, and it seems like maybe they're coming into focus. because last year Nishino was made CEO of Platform Business, and Herman Hulst was made CEO of Studio Business Group. And one is like the hardware focus of the whole brand, and the other one is like the games and the studios and all that stuff. So now in January they've kind of changed that a little bit. So now Nishino has been made CEO of the Platform Business Group, like he was before, and CEO of Studio Business Group. So he now is the CEO of both groups, and Hulst kind of got bumped back to his old job of just leading the development publishing of the first party content. So yeah, I think his push for Concord has had some repercussions. And you know what? Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for him in a way, but at the same time, it's good to see that some company, holds somebody accountable for something. Mm. That was a huge fuck up. That was a major fuck up. That was almost $400 million fuck up. He's saw that. Thank you for muting. That looked terrible. Yeah. But yeah, he's got his old job back. He's probably glad to have a job, I guess I should say. But that does show that maybe Sony is not blind to what's going on and need to make course corrections. And this guy Nishino has also said that he's well aware of PC. He wants to do better on PC. So they obviously know they're not doing great on PC, and probably shrink that window of exclusives going to PC. I mean, for real.
Yeah.
Like, stop it. Like, you're breaking things. So yeah, I mean, that's my take anyway. What is your take exactly?
Yeah, I think the same, and I think Sony, they have to have a good look at like their games, the services, what's going on. I mean, like, well, we've got all these consoles, and no one's buying anything though in terms of our games. So we need to, I don't know, make better games or make day and date on PC, get some extra sales, because I don't know what Sony, what like their budget would be if they don't have like first party.
Yeah.
So it's they need some games out soon, and I think the big hit is anything major will be in a PS6. They probably screwed the entire generation up.
Yeah, I think they're done with PS5. I think that they're now probably focused more on PS6, and I think that if they're smart, they'll start making. Right now, they will have somebody going out and talking to other studios about partnering with them for maybe not exclusivity, but at least marketing exclusivity. They did that with Hogwarts Legacy. Okay, so Hogwarts Legacy came out, and it was multi-plat. It was on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. But the way they did the marketing, nobody knew it was on Xbox. People were buying PlayStations to play this game, not even reading the fine print that says it's also on Xbox and PC. Read the fine print. So that worked well for them. They can do more of that, although I think that's a little shady. But just kind of partnering with people to get games focused on that platform, to say, hey, we don't have any games for your first party, but the third party is looking really strong. I think for the most part, if you're Joe Blow and you just have a PlayStation because you think that's what gaming is, I don't think you're going to really care if it's first party or third party or second party. I don't think, who cares? That's what you have to play on. What games do you have for me to play on? I mean, how far can you go without having any exclusives? Like, how far can they go without having a major exclusive? Probably 2 or 3 years. Why would it matter? You've already got 50 million PlayStations out there. People are playing them. Hell, you still got active PlayStation 4. So they're not going anywhere. They just need to kind of get their shit together with their first party stuff and start getting over this whole exclusive thing. So yeah, but good point. It's we'll see. I know they're listening to this show right now and going, oh, I'm taking notes. All this down. This sounds good. Yeah, right. Anyway, all right. So we're gonna go on to David is still having issues. Wow, he's on a Mac. He has a studio. He has his own studio, and if you have your own studio, you do have a Mac because a lot of the software is for Mac. But don't think Macs are easier than PCs. They have their issues. They have a lot of issues. They're not infallible. So let's see. Let's move on to this one. EA. EA again. This is another company that seems to be maybe getting it, or at least that's how it's kind of perceived. So as their blog post reads recently, as of January 29th of this year, and I'm going to read this whole thing. It's not very long. In my new, much deeper, oaky voice. Today we are turning towards the future and preparing for the next chapter in BioWare's story. As we announced in August 2023, we are changing how we build games to meet the needs of our upcoming projects and hold ourselves to the highest quality standards. Now that Dragon Age, the Veilguard, has been released, a core team at BioWare is developing the next Mass Effect game under the leadership of veterans from the original trilogy. I guess that's what you were telling me about.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. Mike Gamble, Preston Wadamanuk, hope I said that right, Derek Watts, Parrish Lay, and others. So, do you think they recruited these people, or did they just, maybe they asked to come back? I don't know.
I don't know. They're probably begged. So please, we need a good game.
Yeah. In keeping with our fierce commitment to innovating during the development and delivery of Mass Effect, we have challenged ourselves to think deeply about developing the best experience to our fans. We are taking this opportunity between full development cycles to reimagine how we work at BioWare. How we work at BioWare, that sounds kind of strange. Given the stage of development, we don't require support from the full studio. So you're out. No. We have incredible talent here at BioWare, and so we have worked diligently over the past few months to match any of our colleagues with other teams at EA that had open roles that were a strong fit. Today's news, we will see BioWare become a more agile, focused studio that produces unforgettable RPGs. We appreciate your support as we build new future for BioWare. Okay, so how does this is corpo speak in the most literal sense, but how do you read this? What do you think is going on there? I know it's making you sick.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I think they never messed up on a lot of games. I don't know if that's writing or certain employees. I saw that as well. But yeah, they need to have a big shift as to what their focus is going to be. Because I mean, what was it? You had Anthem, which failed. You had Mass Effect Andromeda, which would have been okay if it wasn't launched terribly. It's an okay game, I guess, but it's not Mass Effect.
No, it's not. If they'd named it something else and just took Mass Effect off of it, it probably would have sold better.
Yeah, it was terrible to launch as well, really buggy.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be like a lot of content that was just cut as well, so there's a lot of stuff that just didn't make it there. But yeah, like the next Mass Effect, if it ever comes out, I think it's BioWare's last chance.
Yeah, I do too. That's kind of how I read this. I think it's kind of like, hey, we're going to give you a team. We're going to, you got this last chance to make a good game, and then that's it. I don't think BioWare themselves are going to be working on anything other than this Mass Effect title.
Yeah, that's all they're working on.
Yeah. We do know that all of the writers from Dragon Age, the Veilguard, have been laid off. They were gone not long after it launched. This Veilguard projection was 50% less than projected sales. So I don't know what they actually sold. I don't know what the number came down to. It is a multi-plat game, but whatever it was exactly half of what EA was like, this is what you need to make. This is what you need to, this is what we want out of it. And I think that they can't be that stupid. I mean, when the game doesn't sell, they want to know why. And I think if they're smart, they're not going to go to the creative director and go, "Why didn't this game sell well?" And what's that person going to tell them? It was Doug's fault. If they go to social media and they go to outlets and they go to reviews and they go to YouTube, I mean, they've got to be looking at that stuff. They'd be stupid if they weren't. So it was unanimously disliked. I know you liked it. And there were people that did like it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it was unanimously disliked by most reviewers except for IGN. And even now they're kind of going back on maybe it wasn't that great. I mean, for the writing,
that's kind of the problem though in today's game. Sometimes is, I enjoyed it. But if people expect like a perfect game, that's not going to happen.
No, I don't think anybody expects a perfect game. I mean,
but it's like,
when have we ever gotten a perfect game?
Yeah. But it's like this game's either amazing or it's terrible. The internet does a lot of.
Well, that's what I just said earlier. It's like if you go to X, you're going to see that you got one group saying it's the worst game ever made. I'm scraping it off my shoe. And you got another group going, you don't know what you're talking about. This game is fantastic. It's the best game ever made. That's not where you need to be, finding your information.
That's the problem when that happens. Not so much for the devs, but for the people. Like, if you want to find out information about a game, X is not where you'll find it. Don't go there. Don't go to the social media.
No.
Because someone will say it's terrible or someone will say it's great. People have to play it themselves and make their own opinions. But I think I think it's an average Dragon Age game, but it ended in a way that I was happy. That's probably the best way I can say it. So it probably is average for a lot of people, but I was happy with how it ended.
Yeah.
I was happy where it went. But no, it's not the best Dragon Age game ever made. It's not a great sequel. But just because it's not great, it doesn't mean it's terrible. This is the problem with online and social media and everything, that when developers and publishers try to sell their games, everyone dogs on it before it even comes out.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've got a group out there that is kind of caught wind to games that are now made that have a certain agenda and have political ideologies, and this game kind of had all of that. It kind of everything that we hate about modern gaming was shoved into this one game, and that's not what we buy the games for, and that's not what we play games for. It's supposed to be entertainment and escapism. And if you want to make a game like that, like I said, like the game Life is Strange, that's a perfect example of a group going, hey, we're going to make this game, and it's going to be about this, and it's going to be intertwined with this, and it's going to be for these people, and it's going to be this. And it's great. That's awesome. People need that. People want to be like, hey, they made a game that's like me. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's great. They should make more games like that. They should make more games about, people that are non-binary. But don't put it in my fucking dragons and swords and shit, man.
But the thing is, though, I understand where that complaint comes from as well, like because it does look unnatural. That's the best way to put it, probably. Like,
You think?
uh, I don't know if this is just a probably retaliation, I guess, because it's not like other games before that didn't have gay characters or
Right, Mass
characters
Effect.
or
You could play a dude and you can sleep with anybody. You could play a woman and you can sleep with anybody. Nobody had a problem with that because it wasn't mandatory. You didn't have to do it. Veilguard's different.
I mean, yeah. But personally, I think it's overhated. But I think a lot of I think a lot of entertainment is overhated. But that's a different conversation.
Well, again, that's that group that's like over here going, "Oh my God, it's the biggest piece of shit." It's like, you've got to. You can't go by that, but you also can't go by the group that's saying it's the best thing ever made. IGN gave it a 9. Come on, man. I mean, it alone, the gameplay alone, I don't think is enough. When you walk into an area and somebody's telling you what to do before you even walk into the area, like that is not good gameplay. I'm sorry, that is not a good RPG. That's not to say you can't have fun with that. We've all played games that were like people hated or was a low score on, Metacritic or whatever and had a blast with it. We just, it's just the right game at the right time and, all of that. And I think Dragon Age Veilguard is that game for a lot of people. And there's nothing wrong with that. What sucks is that they made it for a very small group of people, and you're not going to get DLC, and you're not going to get a sequel, and you're not going to get any additional stuff for that.
Well, I mean, I think they already said like when they were making it, this would be like one and done sort of thing. Which, not sure how DLC would actually work in this game the way it went. So I don't mind.
They always find a way.
I mean, yeah, they can do, but it's just like, that was satisfying, it just sort of ties up.
Yeah.
So if we don't get another Dragon Age, well, it's done. I mean,
I think I of course this is what I think if this Mass Effect is really good, and it brings back that that golden era of RPGs. Or starts a new one, and it's the best thing ever. They're going to greenlight a Dragon Age again.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. But I mean, the way Dragon Age ended was like, this is the end.
Yeah.
But like 5 seconds later, it's like how, basically like the Avengers, like, oh, it's done, and then like end credit scene like a Thanos. It's like,
and then there's
something else might come.
End credit scene, yeah.
So like the whole story of Solus and the crew and everyone, that's done. So
you could start a completely new story.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't have to follow on from everything.
Yeah, and this doesn't have to be the end. It doesn't mean that Dragon Age itself has been completely ruined. They said it with Dragon Age 2. It's like, oh man, you ruined it. Then Dragon Age Inquisition came out and it's like, okay, I guess you fixed it. I mean, it's. I think it's just again, it's the example of how to not treat a franchise. If you want to make a game like that, and this is just me saying this, if you want to make a game with those kind of things in it, go make a game with those kind of things in it, and it'll probably do well. Don't take a beloved franchise of people that have been playing this since they were another since they were probably in high school or even elementary school. Well, no, if you're in elementary school, you should be playing Dragon Age. But if say they were in high school, don't take that and make it for a completely different group of people. That's not fair. It's just not fair. It's not racist. It's not sexist. It's not homophobic or transphobic or any of that thing. It's just like, it's just not fair to those people that, love that franchise and have been there and bought everything for it. And, Star Wars does the same thing. You know, it's like, hey, here's this huge fan base you have. And they're like, oh, great. Screw you. We're doing something completely different now. We're going to do it for these group of people. These people that we think we can market to that are going to buy this stuff and watch this stuff. And guess what? Look what's happening. Star Wars is bankrupt, man. It just seems stupid. From the outside, it looks really dumb to just take a franchise and do that with it. Yeah. These people that are at BioWare that they have said that they found they found open roles that were a strong fit. These people found out that strong fit is now the permanent. So they're not coming back to BioWare. They still have a job, but if they want to come back to BioWare, they have to apply for open roles or open job openings.
If EA take any lessons from Dragon Age, I hope it's the game state, because how it launched.
Oh man, was fantastic.
Was actually a breath of fresh air from an EA game. Like, this runs perfectly.
I didn't encounter one problem. No.
Yeah, I had no trouble. So whatever they did in optimizing it, do that for games, okay?
And is this using Frostbite?
I think it was.
Was it using Unreal? I know Mass Effect, the new Mass Effect, they're saying, no, we're using Unreal.
I mean, Mass Effect always ran on Unreal.
Andromeda was Frostbite.
Oh, Andromeda, yeah.
And Dragon Age Inquisition was Frostbite as well. Dragon Age, the Veilguard engine. Let's see. Yeah, it's on Frostbite. So somebody over there is working double time getting that engine.
Yeah. Whoever did that needs a raise.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, I think over time you can pretty much do anything with a game engine. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That game, and I like the way it looked. I didn't like the character look. I didn't like the way the characters looked, but I liked the way the game looked. It was really good. It ran really good. Ran really good on my PC. I played it a little bit on the Xbox S. Ran fine on that as well. And so I hate that people lose their jobs, but it's if you make things for people that love that thing, you can't go wrong, man. It's just hard to do. But if you're trying to change the world or change the way people think through a video game, I think maybe you need to rethink your occupation. This is not a platform for that. This is a platform for entertainment and enjoyment and escapism. That's the platform for this. So I feel robbed a little bit from, my Dragon Age. I wanted a Dragon Age sequel that was made for people that love Dragon Age.
Yeah.
And that's not what we got. So. What?
It still actually worked better than what EA had planned for it. So.
Yeah, if this had come out as a live service, like open world, oh yeah, that would have been a catastrophe. That would have been Anthem all over again.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, this game was like this game has been in production since before Anthem came out. Can you imagine that? Like, holy shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of development troubles.
Well, this quote here, of course, it's all corpo speak, but it looks to me like maybe they are trying to rebuild BioWare in a much better state. They're bringing back some older people that know how to make Mass Effect, and I think you're right though. I think this is a make or break for BioWare. So anyway,
we've seen about 6 years.
God, I know. Well, is there anything we can talk about that's not so divisive?
I know that's why I don't like.
I mean, it's hard to talk about any game company right now without some kind of controversy or
Well, Avowed is coming out, and they released more specs for it.
Oh, that's right. Forgot about that. Why don't you tell us what they are? Because I think before you say this, did I not call this? I think I called it. I'm pretty sure I called this.
I think you did.
I think I did. I said this delay is going to produce this, and I was right.
Since it was delayed from last year, the Xbox Series X will have 30 FPS mode, 40 FPS mode, and 60 FPS mode.
Yep.
And the Series S will have a 30 and 40 FPS mode.
Yep. Called it.
So it looks like it's quite optimized.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody went in there and said, 30 FPS, really? Seriously? You think that's fine? No.
I think 40
you got
for
till
the S
February.
is good as well. So
yeah.
So I don't think a lot of people will actually know the difference between 40 and 60. Because 40 is smooth enough to not feel like 30.
Yeah, but I can totally tell the difference between 40 and 60.
I mean, PC gamer.
I'm sorry. You can tell the difference between 60 and 160. So,
I mean, I think a casual person will like notice that, hey, this.
I think an average person will notice that it's like, hey, this is smoother than this isn't 30.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I played a lot of games on the Steam Deck that are 40. And it's fine. It's absolutely fine. You wouldn't think it. You would think like 40. That's almost 30, but it seems like anything above 30 is just kind of it's okay. So good for them, man, for giving that.
I might run it at 40 depending on the settings they have like added or removed to get FPS caps.
Well, I've said this several episodes ago because I was so pissed off at the art director for being such a dumb shit. But I'm gonna wait till this comes out. I'm kind of calmed down a little bit. I may give it a go. I'm not buying it though. I will play it on Game Pass if I decide to do that. But I feel like maybe I was being a little hateful myself. But
it's hard. That's what I mean. It's hard not to online because
when you get when he talks about crusty white guys, I mean I guess that's me. I don't know, but I don't work in the industry either. But we'll see. I'm glad to see that though, because a game like this needs 60 or at least anything above 30. It's the more videos I watch of it is it's first person swift combat. There's a huge difference there between 30 and 60 when you're swinging a sword or throwing a spell or anything like that. I mean, it's to me it's no different than Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Third person maybe a little bit different, but still. But that's good for them for kind of throwing that in at the last minute. So that comes out on the 13th, I think, right?
For early access,
if you want to pay extra money, and then on the 18th, if you don't. I don't recommend paying extra because maybe they'll stop doing that, but who knows? That always makes me wonder if there's a day one patch. When does that patch come out? When's day one? Day one should be the day it's released.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems like Indiana Jones had a day one patch, and I got it before. I know I really hate myself for doing that, but that game is so good. I think the day one patch came out when it was released on that like Monday or whatever, Tuesday, I don't remember. But I mean, this might be the same thing. I don't know. It's like you can pay extra, but you're not getting the day one patch till it comes out on the day it's supposed to come out. Jeez, who knows? But yeah, so that's leaving on a good note. That's good stuff. Frames are always good. Getting extra is the best.
Yeah, polishing games is very good.
Yeah. So anyway, so I think that's all we have this week. David should be back next week. I think after he what he did was he upgraded his operating system on his Mac. which you shouldn't do. But he did that. He's had some problems since, so maybe he'll just plug his mic up to his PC and be done with it. But yeah, I think that goes for our show. We'll be back next week, probably feeling a little bit better. I know this was like a low energy show because we're both sick.
Yeah.
That's when we needed David. But yeah, we'll be back next week. Thanks for dropping in. And I know I don't say this much, but it does mean a lot. Please subscribe. Please like. It helps us reach other people and get them in the discussion and talk about games and whatnot. So have a great week.
See you.